fall, the season of change.
I've gotten a lot of emails this year asking, hey, what are you going to hunt with? And I do flip-flop around a lot of bows generally, but I'm going to hunt with a Tridtech Titan 3 this year, some Port Orford cedar arrows, and so I thought I'd show you how I'm going to set these up. Might be helpful to some of you that are getting ready for this fall deer season. So I come out here at 10 yards, and I'm going to aim at that bottom dot, at the bottom of the bottom dot. And just let the arrow impact where it wants to impact. I always shoot 2. Make sure. Flip that around. Then we'll measure the distance from the dot to where the arrow's impact. I want to make sure they're good shots and they're together. 15 inches, 14 and a half, say 14. This will be our smallest gap. Now we'll do the same thing. We'll do the same thing at 15, 20, and 25. I don't shoot whitetail any further than that, so we'll see what those gaps are as well. Shooting these gaps with the, with new arrows, new gaps, is I know I go out to the target and measure them first. Put my point on a spot, measure the distance that it is. So I know here, this is maybe 12 yards, and I know that that's about a 14-inch gap. So I pick me a spot using pick a point. It's about 14, and I draw and put my tip on that point, and then I look at that gap. I just get used to looking at that gap, because my gap's 14 to 16 inches all the way back to 25 yards, and I'm not going to shoot at a deer any further than that anyway. So I just draw and get used to that gap and what it looks like. Just take a look at it, take it in, get used to what the gap looks like, and before long, when you put the arrow up there, it'll just look good to you. You'll know that, hey, that's exactly where I need to be aiming. So there's a solid 10 on one. Let's shoot some of these and just get used to filling that gap. Whitetail Classic course, we set it up with 2 turkeys and 18 deer. And that's to get an idea of, the feel of shooting a lot of deer targets. Also, we set them at distances where we realistically take a hunting shot. So these give us a good feel for what we're going to do during the season. Hit that limb anyway. Tried to get around it, but arrow flew fine. Of course, I've hit limbs in the past and them not fly fine. So see, I'm comfortable already knowing that if I put that point somewhere right around the knee or just under, then the arrow's gonna be right in there. When you're under the stress of a big buck coming in, or any deer for that matter, knowing that, knowing what the gap is, but also just knowing, okay, is my point right around behind that front leg, around the knee, then I'm good to go. So just to reiterate, I go to the practice range, I put my point on, pick out the rig I want to shoot, the arrow combination I want to shoot, put my tip on the dot, just shoot the arrow, so let them impact high, and measure the distance. I know that everything I shoot at in Tennessee is going to be 25 yards and under. So then I measure at each distance. I do 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Measure the distance of the gap. The idea is that the arrow flattens out in its trajectory, so it's gonna rise a little bit, and then it's gonna flatten out for a minute and then start back down. You want the majority of your shots in that flat area, so that gap stays the same as long as possible. So for me, I'm 14 inches at 10 yards. At 15, I'm up to 16, and at 20, I peak at 17 inches from the point that I put the arrow. 17 inches above that'll be there. Then I'm back to 16 at 25. So I know that if I put the arrow somewhere between 14 and 17 inches, I'm going to be in the vitals. I'm going to be in the 10 on a target like this. So for target, that's important. But knowing on an animal, then I measure the standard deer. That's about the bottom of the kneecap. So I know anywhere in the woods, I put my tip of my arrow somewhere around the kneecap, I'm going to be in the vitals. That's a huge tip for hunting. It works like a champ. I mean, you can see here, I've grown confident in that, and then I take that. I'm not picking a point when I'm hunting as much, but I know that I shoot this range, I put the point there a little bit, and then I start to learn what that gap looks like. It just feels right. So when I put the bow up there, the arrow's just in the right spot. I mean, it just goes where it's supposed to go. Great way of practicing, great way of finding yourself field dressing deer come fall. Well, hopefully this little video is giving you some tips as you get ready for fall deer season. Like I said, it's pretty simple, just picking out good arrows that fly good out of your bow, whatever you want to hunt with. For me, I like these wood arrows because they add a little mass weight. I'm hunting with 510 grain arrows. They're barrel shaft Port Orford cedar arrows at full length, 32 inches, 160 grain ace broadheads, and I'm shooting 40 pounds on this TradTech Titan 3. And I like to set them up so my point on somewhere around 30 yards, about 33 with this setup. They shoot right down the middle, and then like I said, I go out and put dots on the bail, shoot the distances I want to shoot, get used to what that is, and go to the target and just know the distance on it. Shoot a bunch of deer targets to get used to that sight picture, just what it looks like. And then you don't have to focus just on the point. I know a lot of guys really averse to looking at the point, but if you'll do this, it'll just look natural. When you put your bow up, that point will be where it needs to be. But also in a high stress situation, it really is a benefit to know with confidence, to shoot with confidence that I put that point around the knee of the animal and I'm going to be right in the boiler room there. So good luck to you this fall. I hope it works out for you. Look forward to seeing your post online and hearing your big whitetail kills.